Hello, I'm Megan Jones, editor at Call Centre Helper, and I'm delighted to be joined by Juanita Coley of Solid Rock Consulting to take a closer look at the findings from our latest Call Centre Helper research with a deep dive on the biggest intraday management problems. So, Juanita, were you surprised to see unplanned absences and unexpected spikes come out on top here?
Thank you, Megan, so much for having me and the question and the research that you guys are doing over at Call Center Helper. And no, actually, I wasn't. I wasn't surprised to see that the unplanned absences and spikes were a big thing that kind of shook out on top or rose to the top rather. Because when we think about contact center and we think about managing people, one of the biggest metrics, right, that is important that we should be measuring when it comes to intraday is availability, right? So we measure a lot of things, right? Like service levels and AHT and all the different things. But one of the things I think that we often miss is looking at our agents and our resources actually available when we need them. And that's one of the constant things that we're fighting all the time. We're not fighting, but having to manage. That's what intraday management is. We're having to manage availability, resource availability. And so I wasn't surprised because in essence that's the job of intraday management.
It's such a challenging role then. So, what does it take for someone to excel in an RTA role?
I think, traditionally, when we think about old school RTA or intraday, right, it was just so more so about queue management, or you hear it referred to as traffic control, right? It's like, okay, we're watching the queue and we're watching the agents, right? We're watching interactions that are coming in and kind of making sure that they go where they need to go. And then we're also watching our resources, we're watching agents and making sure they're available, they're in the right place, they're skilled in the right place. So we have right literally those two buckets, if you will, queue management, and then we have agent management. And so traditionally, the old way of thinking about intraday management has been, I just need to manage the queue and make sure that the calls, don't stack up or the interactions don't stack up. And then I need to manage the people, make sure that they're on. And so traditionally, the skill set has needed to be just watching the queue and then reacting to the queue. However, I believe as we kind of push into the future, what it takes to be successful as a intraday in the intraday role is not reacting, but responding and really understanding the business. What's driving the queue in the first place? How do we become more proactive to mitigate the spike in the first place, right? How do we think about the agent management piece of it and some of the behavioral traits that are driving maybe call outs or, so let's say maybe I'm noticing all the time that this 8 a.m. shift, is usually attacked or having a challenge with attendance. Maybe we need to look at the people that we have on the 8 a.m. shift, or maybe we need to look at the type of shift that we have there. And so I think to be successful in intraday now, it takes more than just the tactical of understanding queue and agent management and reacting to it, but it takes more of a response and proactiveness in understanding the business and what drives interactions, which is the queue part of it, and then also human behavior that also then drives the agent side of the equation.
And with so much to think about, then, do you think AI is set to take some of this pressure off?
Absolutely, right? Like AI can manage some of these trends or recognize some of these trends. So some of the things that we are doing when it comes to some of the things that we are doing when it comes to identifying, oh, I noticed this trend, or I need to reschedule breaks, or we need to reschedule lunches. AI can kind of look at that and say, oh, okay, let me automatically optimize, right, the breaks and lunch schedule. That's something that is the best time spent for an RTA or someone in intraday, right? I don't have to think about that anymore. This AI can look at the system and say, hey, this is a call spike. I need to really optimize breaks and lunches here. And so AI definitely think is positioned and putting RTAs and intraday in the position to free up some of their time to do more of the analytical things and think more from a human perspective and respond rather than react for sure.
And if you had one piece of advice for someone in this role right now, looking to the future, what would it be?
lean into AI, right? Lean in. Like, a lot of people are afraid, they're terrified of AI, and I understand why. Usually, what we don't understand is what we fear, right? Because we're like, I don't really understand. That's unknown territory. But I would say lean in, get really familiar with it because AI is not taking jobs. It's people who are leveraging AI that's taking your job. So it's the person who can come in and understand the business and lean into AI, and their output is 10 times what your output is because they're leveraging AI.